here, the Frugal Crafter, and I know it's just a couple days till Christmas, but I wanted to share with you a present that I make for my mother and mother-in-law every year, and it is a scrapbook calendar, and it's very quick and easy, and depending on how early you start, you can get a lot more complex. It's 4 days till Christmas, not very complex. So what I have here is a little booklet that I've made with cardstock, and we got calendar pages in it, and we got photos, and we get a little bit of journaling to say who's in the picture and what's going on. I may add some die cuts, get a little crazy, add some die cuts in there if I have some time. But really, this is what you need. You need the photos, the calendar, and you just need to say who's on the pictures. For now, if you have more time to embellish later, you can do that, but the important thing is to get the pictures. And the cool thing about this idea is that at the end of the year, you actually have a scrapbook, and you might even make another one for yourself because you'll have a year scrapbooked in about an hour or so, which is really nice. So first thing you need is calendar pages printed on cardstock or cover stock. I'm using cover stock because it's a little easier to punch. So I went to the website called pdfcalendar.com. I'll put a link below in the video description so you can click over and go to there. It's free, and you can print off however you like. You can print off a calendar that goes up like this way, or one that's horizontal like this. You can print off ones that have like you know, weeks or daily format, whatever you want. I just choose like a month to a page, and horizontal style, and so I printed that off, and that's what I have right here. All right, that's my stack. So then after you've printed that off, what you need to do is you want to look through. You want to make sure all of your months are going on in order and are correct and are right side up. I know it sounds silly, but really you want to check that because, you know, if you spilled your papers and put them back together and you got them out of order, you need to know that now. The next tip that I have to make this a streamlined, simple process is pick one collection of paper, pick one stack, and then work from that. And I chose this Best of Brenda Walton Can Company stack. It's very pretty, and I've had it for a couple of years, and I really wanted to get some use out of it. So on each page, we have photos. Now, when I printed my photos, I print them at home, and I print them on 8.5 by 11 paper. And so I got these plus identical ones, both on one sheet of 8.5 by 11. So for every one of these pages, I have one sheet of cream cardstock. I have half a sheet of the 12 by 12 paper, and I have half a sheet of photo paper. So it's really, it doesn't use a lot of supplies. And in addition to the cardstock, you're also going to need a binding comb. And I'm going to show you how I bound this album together. Let me just swing this down so you can see my binding machine, and you'll probably get to see my half-drunk cup of tea. Oh my goodness, what an operation we're running today, eh? All right, so then what you want to do, move your cup of tea so you don't spill that all over your work. This is a really nifty machine. I got it for 20 bucks. Bought it a couple of years ago because I love making these calendars, and it can be kind of, I used to punch them with a crocodile, and what I did was I would punch, I'll show you right here in case you don't have a binding machine. I would punch 2 holes side by side. I would just take a pencil, and I would lay out my binding combs. I would make a mark wherever the little legs of the binding comb was. And then I would just, since the hole punch wasn't quite big enough, I'd have to punch 2 side by side, and I do that all the way down, and that's how I would get my my holes to put my binding comb through. So you can totally do that. That takes longer, but if you don't have one of these machines, you know, you don't want to run out and buy one just for one calendar. If you love making them, then go ahead and buy the machine after, you know, if you know it's something you're going to do every year. All right, so then you can do, I would say, 3 pages at a time with this. Oh, by the way, if you have like a scrapbooking binding machine, that's totally fine. Use that. That'll work just great. I chose this kind because you can see you get some really nice little punch outs because I had binding combs already, and those binding combs are very inexpensive, and I wanted to make sure that my consumables were going to be inexpensive. So when I set this down, I'm actually flipping it over, so when I put my next stack of pages, they are going to all be in order. And with this little machine, if you see this little dial, you can switch it. So if you're using an A4, like they use over in Europe, or if you're using an 11-inch, or if you're using like a legal pad or something a little bit different, you can kind of switch it for the kind of paper you're using. And you know, I've done them this way as well, and it does work fine. So it's a very versatile machine. I like it. It was 20 bucks, so that was what I really liked about it. I picked this up at mybinding.com. I'm not affiliated with them or anything. Oh, there's a little sticker for it, but they had a really good price. And you can actually get these binding combs in any color you want, which is another thing that I liked about that. So I knew I'd always be able to find these. Sometimes I worry with kind of craft only, you know, fad products that they'll go out of business and you won't be able to get the consumables for them anymore, or the consumables will get really hard to find and expensive. Now, in addition to the 12 calendar pages, you're also going to need a piece of cardstock for the cover. And this is actually a little bit thicker, so I'm punching it by itself. So I used cover stock for the pages, which were about, I think it was about 67 pound, and the cover was like 80 pound. It was Staples cardstock, whatever that happens to be, and Staples cover stock. So you can see that it's all lined up, punched out really good. Okay, so now the thing I really like about this is how easy it is to put your combs in. So what you do is you just lay the little comb thing down, and then you let the handle go all the way up and you slide it over, and that catches those little pegs that are going to pull it down. And then you can lock that in place so the comb is open, so you don't have to go and open every one individually, which is what you have to do if you just have a crocodile, which is totally doable. It's just going to take like an extra, I don't know, 20 minutes, half an hour for you to do that process. So not a huge deal. And then you just set that on, you unlock your machine there, and you let it close up. And there, we have our book is bound. I'm just gonna set that right out of the way. Okay, so then to do the pages, flip that around, there's my cover. I'm actually going to pause this. I'm going to move my camera over a little bit because I want to correct that weird angle that we're looking at here. Hang on a minute. It's a little bit better, don't you think? I do. Okay, so we open it up. We have January 1st. So we're going to be decorating this part up here. And when I went and did my first pages on the one I just showed you, I actually cut my photos out at the same time. Since it was all on the same sheet, I had all my January pages for 2 calendars on one sheet, and I'm using half a piece of cardstock for my base. I trimmed the cardstock to 12 by 11, and then I cut it in half so I had a 6 by 11 sheet. Well, actually, I didn't cut those out. So anyways, I would cut those out and stick that there. Bad example, Lindsay. I didn't have that one cut and ready. So, you know, really, you just kind of assembly line it, you know, put on some Christmas music, or put on an Ask a Crafter. You know, those are long. You could totally get a book made while you listen to me and Lorraine gab about crafts. That's a great idea, don't you think? You know, just stick your photos down, and when you stay in one collection, the nice thing about that is the album or calendar will have a certain continuity. Continuity. There we go. Continuity and flow. Whoops. Oh, I hate that. Glue boogers. There we go. Sometimes I don't press it down just right. Still a newbie at the ATG gun. And the other thing you want to do with these albums is you want to make sure that you write down what, oh my gosh, what's going on in the pictures. There we go. Because, you know, these will be kept, so you may know exactly who's in every picture and what they're doing now, as will the recipient of your calendar. But 10 years from now, they're cleaning their, you know, their cupboard, and they find this album and they sit down to look at it, and they can't remember, well, which daughter was that, or, you know, where were they then, and what's, you know, you just forget. So, you know, you've got plenty of room here up high or below to write down that information. So yeah, you definitely want to do that. And you know, this is an as time allows project, so as you can see, making 2 is not really more difficult than making 1. You know, especially if you just cut out, you have all your photos printed. That probably takes the longest, printing your photos and printing out the calendar pages. But the calendar pages are simple. Just deciding the photos that you want to use can be trickier. I found that I don't take as many photos as I used to, so this was a lot easier this year. The photos might not be as good, but it was definitely a lot simpler of a project. But you know, I'm just printing the same photos twice to make 2 calendars, so it's actually quite easy. And if you're one of those people that are kind of behind on their scrapbooks and always feeling guilty about it, print off an extra sheet of paper, extra sheet of photos for your scrapbook page. You know, you can either stick the collage in as is, or you could put it on a piece of scrapbook paper or whatever, but you know, you can get that all printed out at the same time. That's what I did last year. I found myself kind of not scrapbooking much, so when I did my calendars last year, I just printed off an extra set of photos and put them in my book. Oh, I realize that I'm doing this upside down for you, but it's not exactly a heavy technique project here. It's just kind of a showing you how to get it done. I'm liking this tape runner that my friend Val gave me. It's pretty awesome. I have to mention that because that was very generous for her to just send that to me, a virtual stranger on the internet. Very nice to hear good stranger on the internet stories, isn't it? Good grief. I hope I haven't mixed up any of my days. Ah, glue boogers again. See? Oh shoot. What have I done? Oh, good grief. Let me pause this. I've done something to my ATG gun. Hang on a minute. I fixed it. I actually taught my husband how to run the ATG gun when we were making Christmas cards. Oh, I want to make a note about this paper that I used to print these photos, because I'd always gone to Sam's Club and got the photo paper that was the HP Premium Plus Glossy, or HP Premium Glossy, I'm not sure, but that's what I always got because I had pretty decent results with it because I have an HP printer, but it just wasn't happening. I wasn't going anywhere near there around Christmas time, and so I chose a paper on Amazon. It was the Canon Pixma. It's in a red box. It's glossy. You get 100 sheets. It's about 12 bucks, and I just loved the prints that I got from that. And I'm not an Amazon affiliate or anything, although I'm thinking about it. I've never done that. But I just wanted to mention that if you like to print your photos from home, because it was a really good value, and I'm really pleased with the pictures. And I only had to use 12 sheets to get all these photos, which is really nice. And I used Picture Collage Maker Pro software to make my collages. The customer service with them, it doesn't seem to be that great, because I have recommended that software to people before and they've had a hard time getting it, you know, like they've had trouble understanding it or getting their activation code, or lose it or something, so it's hard to get a hold of somebody there. But I got it when it was a free, it was like a deal of the day or something. It was free once, and I downloaded it and I really enjoyed it. I think it's regular $40, but you know, check it out. They might have it for free again, I don't know. But that's Picture Collage Maker Pro. I really do like that software. So, and another thing you could do for your calendar is to go through when you're, you know, doing your journaling, write your family members' birthdays in there, like your kids and your husband or wife or anybody that you know could, because if you're giving this to your mother or your mother-in-law, it's nice if they have that information on the calendar, because it's hard to remember everything, and that's just, it's thoughtful. Plus you'll get a really good present on your birthday, I bet, if you make sure you write it in the calendar. What you think? My mother gets mad at me if I don't call and remind her when my husband's birthday is, or the kids. This will be like an automatic reminder. And the other thing I like about this, because when my twins were born, I actually set up a scrapbook like this. Well, before they were born, when I was pregnant, I pre-scrapped the entire first year, and I did calendar pages. So one page was a piece of pattern paper with mats and decorations on it. The other side was a calendar page, and then I would write down every doctor appointment and what their weight was, and you know what we did today, and what we, you know, different friends they had. I just wrote little, like, oh, going to a play date at Kathy's or whatever, and so I can look back in their baby books and see exactly what we did every day for the first year of their life. It's just really special, and I think that's something you can do with these calendar scrapbooks, and it really takes the pressure off. Look at this. We put this whole album together in, like, what is it, 15 minutes? Not even 15 minutes. So I think that's pretty cool. All right, so now the cover, which, you know, is only going to be seen probably once. I just found this paper was also in the book, and I thought it was pretty decorative on its own. And And you don't want to put any too like heavy embellishments on there because it will kind of put the weight out of kilter on your calendar. So I'm putting that like that, and I'm going to stamp 2014. So what I have here is just my, remember those foam stamps by Making Memories, and they were like the most popular thing, and I love them. I think I bought like every font they had going, and I just think they're fun. I still use them. And that's the other thing about kind of digging out those older supplies when you're doing gifts like this. Grandma isn't going to know that that paper came out in, you know, 2004 and think it's a moldy older. She's not going to care, and you get kind of a little bit of, you get two bits of satisfaction from using the older products. One is that you feel good that you're using something that's just been sitting on your shelf. The other thing is you feel a little nostalgic because you remember how exciting it was when you first started scrapbooking, and you know, that's kind of nice too. You remember how, like, you know, oh, the first time I tried this technique, or the first time I tried that one, or maybe you went to I used to go to a crop every Wednesday night, and that was, you know, fun to think back at, you know, the ladies I used to scrapbook with. Because, you know, there's very few little stores that offer little crops anymore like that. So, you know, it's just kind of fun to think back. You know, oh, water pump. About time to wrap it up, I guess. So that's going to dry. And we'll just give you another last peek at this one. I probably will go add some die cuts because, you know, hey, it's days before Christmas now. So, you know, I did go in and I added just some brief journaling there about, you know, who's in the pictures. You know, I have twins, so it's really important that I label who's who, just, you know, because in 5 years you might not remember who had the slightly blonder hair, you know. So, you know, it's easy, it's fun, it's a meaningful gift that your parents, grandparents, sisters, brothers will enjoy. I hope you found this useful, and if you have any questions, please leave a comment. I will try to remember to get all these links in there so you can print off your calendar pages for free, and I'll show you where I bought the binding machine and stuff if you feel like going that route. And also, oh, I have a tutorial on my blog on how to bind these with the crocodile punch, so I'll put that there too. So just look under the video for the all that fabulous information. Thank you so much for watching. Sorry about the noise in the background, and Merry Christmas. Till next time, happy crafting.